just in looking at the game that Deshaun had and sort of the timing that he had with your guys, why do you have reason to believe that you think it's going to be significantly better in Cincinnati?
Yeah, Deshaun's done such a good job of working very hard and closely with our wide receivers. He's great in his communication of exactly what he wants on individual routes and on specific assignments. So that's been real positive. We've worked really hard on that on the field as well. Is once we talk about something, we really try to put it into action on the field. And I just think that Deshaun's done a great job of working extremely hard with our group and to be on the same page. And we've made progress, and the guys have really taken to, his attitude and the way he approaches from a work ethic standpoint and just overall attitude. So really encouraged with Deshaun working with our receivers.
Deshaun mentioned last week, he talked about when he came back into the building, one of the big things he tried to do was listen to the conversations between Jacoby and the receivers, not just Jacoby to the receivers, but vice versa. Tell me a little bit, if you could, about what those conversations are like and what can a receiver provide the quarterback in those conversations specifically?
Yeah, the receiver and quarterback positions, they work so closely together, and there's a lot of ongoing communication throughout the week, not only during a game or during practice, but throughout the week in the meeting rooms. And we really make a lot of progress in those meeting rooms with that ongoing communication. And the communication, to detail what that is, it's a specific routes, our angles, our depths, our decisions that we're making on those routes. There's so many things that go into running a route, and we need to be on the same page with the quarterback, and the quarterback needs to be on the same page with us. So it's a two-way street. It's one of which here that I think we have a great environment that we allow our players to talk through exactly what they see, how they see the routes, and Deshaun's just done a great job of working with our receiver group, and our group has worked really good with him of just that communication, because it's so important with the amount of details that's required to be very efficient in the pass game, specifically route running.
What about Amari and Deshaun? How important is it to get that connection down? It seemed like Amari and Jacoby were just constantly in communication, constantly working on routes and things. How important is it to come up to speed real quickly between those two?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Jacoby did a great job for us at quarterback in being in communication with our receivers, and they were on the same page. And I think Deshaun's really picked up exactly where Jacoby left off as far as, being receptive to what our receivers say, being on the same page, him asking them what we need to do as far as to be efficient on those routes. So it's really been very positive to see him work with our group. And Jacoby's still a huge part of this. He's not the starting quarterback right now, but he's a part of what we do in the pass game as far as his communication, what we do in practice, what we do in the meeting room. So Jacoby's been a great benefit to all of us right now, even though he's the backup quarterback.
It seemed like, Anthony was starting to make some progress and show some signs of progress. How tough is it to kind of lose him here to IR for the next maybe for the year?
It's, I really feel for Anthony, because I do believe Anthony he's done everything we've asked him to do. He's worked extremely hard. He was doing some real positive things on the field. And I mean, I've always spoke very highly of him as a person and think I think a lot of him. So it was very disappointing for us to see him to go to IR, but it's another setback that he'll deal with, and knowing how he's been in the past, I think he'll deal with it very, very well. And, I'd love for him to be with us, but obviously can't control everything, and we'll go about our business with the guys we have. But, yeah, disappointed for Anthony, but I will say this, very positive in what he's done here recently for us, and being involved in special teams was so important, and he really embraced that role. And Anthony will always give you a great day's work, and really be he's a dependable guy, and we wish him the very best in trying to get back with us.
Michael Woods will probably obviously have to be active, I would think, this week because of the numbers game and all that. What has Michael shown in practice, or what does he need to show you to be able to get some targets?
Yeah, I think that with any young player, you need to show dependability and consistency. Mike has a lot of ability. He's also a very smart player for us, so he's able to line up in different positions and do different things and maybe play in different roles across the board. So what we're looking for with all of our players, especially the young players, is just consistency, overall dependability to be exactly where you need to be. And there's evidence, because Mike is smart, he does work hard, that he'll be able to do that whatever role we ask him to be in.
Got a lot more work at receiver this past, probably as much as he's had all season. He's been active, inactive, kind of bounced around. And he's bounced around between running back and receiver as well. How difficult is that, just kind of not knowing one week to the next, whether, running back, receiver, just with him specific?
Yeah, I mean, Dimitrik is a player physically that can be able to play multiple positions. And then I believe that what he's done is he's done such a good job in his preparation of being ready to play anything that we ask him to do. I mean, he comes in this building and we just tell him, go here, go there, and this is what your role is going to be, and he embraces that. He's able to handle that role. It's challenging, I'll say that, because any player that you ask to do multiple things, it requires more investment, more preparation, but he sure has been up for the task. And, I think with his physical skill set and his ability and experience of playing different positions really helped him as far as the development of the player.
Well, it comes from switching from one quarterback for most of the season in Jacoby over to Deshaun. I mean, is it overrated that you have to worry about how the ball comes in and where the ball is placed and all that kind of stuff, or is that a real thing that you have to make that adjustment?
No, it's overrated as far as I'm concerned. I mean, we have so many things that we need to do at the receiver position on each play that's where our focus is. It's where do we get our correct depth, our correct angle. So playing with different quarterbacks, our job is to get open and catch the ball. I truly believe that, regardless of who's playing. And I do think it's overrated when quarterbacks switch in and out of, having to work with a guy for a period of time or investment. I just think that we have so much on our plate that we focus on trying to do our job, which is get open, catch the ball, and whoever's throwing it, whether it's whatever type of ball it is, our job is to catch it.